This video is sponsored by Car Vertical. Don't forget to use my promo code HIGHPEAK for 20% off each and every check that you do. Hello and welcome to more High Peak. Well, today we're looking at some of the best BMWs I've bought for under £4,000. Now, BMW is a brand that I love. Ever since my very first E53 3-litre X5, I replaced that with a E46 330 convertible. I've just loved the brand. And I'm clearly not alone. It's a brand with a cult following. They are, well they used to be, the ultimate driving machine. Even now I still find myself looking on Auto Trader for E39 M5s or E38 7 Series. There's just something about them. That particular area of BMW as well is my favourite. Now you could go and lease a brand new BMW for about £600 a month, but if you have a look on Auto Trader you can find some genuine bargains from what I believe to be their heyday, which is like the late 90s to the mid 2000s. So in today's video we're going to look through 5 BMWs that I've bought for less than £4,000 that I think you ought to consider. We might as well start off then with BMW's entry model. So at number 1 is, ironically, the 1 Series. Now the 1 Series ran from 2004 and it was a proper driver's car. Rear-wheel drive, most were manual, and they still handle really well. So let's take a look at this one that I bought for just £1,000.
Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, today we're going to pick up a very cheap BMW 1 Series I've agreed to buy for just £1,000. I couldn't really say no at £1,000. It just seemed too cheap. I haven't actually seen the car yet, but I do know a little bit about it. It's a 2008 118D, which means it's a 2-litre turbo diesel. It's a manual. It's only an SE model, sadly, not a Sport or an M Sport, so it might look a little bit boring. It's finished in like a pale green colour, which probably isn't the best, but gotta stay positive, haven't we? Oh, and the mileage. It's done around 80,000 miles, so it's not particularly high, is it, for a... Christ, it's a 17-year-old car now, isn't it? Makes me feel old. It's mad, isn't it? Now we're in 2025. People born in 2008 will be passing the test this year. Anyway, the trader I bought this BMW 1 Series from said it was quite tidy and it will make a decent forecourt car with minimal effort. Although thinking about it, he did say it needs a very good clean. He said the previous owner had had a dog. Now I have a dog, but my car's immaculate. So the fact he told me that means I'm expecting quite a few hairs. In fact, I might need a tetanus jab. We'll see. I could be wrong, I suppose. I haven't actually seen the car yet, so better go and have a look, hadn't we? See how doggy this old dog is. I'll see you there. Well, we're here, and it looks all right. I mean, it's not the most flattering of colours, to be honest. Like a wishy-washy green. There's a little bit of damage to the front bumper, but I think I could touch that in carefully if I got some matching paint from BMW. Oh, and we're missing a wing mirror cover, or a door mirror cover. Why can't I speak? You know what? In the cold weather, I just lose my ability to speak. This isn't the tidy car that I was promised. Oh yeah, it just needs a clean. It's a retail-ready car. It's a forecourt-ready car. Is it? Who's forecourt exactly? What's the theme here, Hiroshima? There's some damage to the rear wheel arch there. That might dent master. It might pop out, maybe. We're into a door mirror cover. It does need a very good clean. Wheels look okay. It's a very average car, that, isn't it? Let's do a Car Vertical check then and see if we can find out any more information on it. Okay, then may as well knock off the engine. So we're going to do a thorough vehicle history check, and as always, we're going to use Car Vertical. All you do is go to carvertical.com, type in the VIN or the reg. Now in this case, we know the reg to be Yankee Delta 08 X-Ray Gatwick Golf Whiskey. There we go, check vehicle. And what this is doing is checking database in 35 different countries. It isn't just a UK thing. So it'll tell us if it's ever been stolen, written off, had a mileage rollback, or has outstanding finance on it. In addition to that, it shows you all the MOT history, the ownership changes, number plate changes, MOT advisory items, all that sort of stuff. It's a really thorough check. It doesn't take long, as you can see, and it isn't expensive either. And it's cheaper still if you use my promo code HIGHPEAK. That's HIGHPEAK, all one word, HIGHPEAK, and you'll save 20% off each and every check that you do. This isn't just a one-time thing. You can use it as many times as you like. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this 1 Series because it's starting to look like a bit of a crock. Right, the report's ready. So, view. Let's view it. So it's never been clocked, there's no outstanding finance, there's no recorded accident damage, and it's never been stolen, so that's good. Last known mileage was 80,000 miles, and that was in July last year. And it's only done about 2,000 miles every single year. I think, not that this matters, but I think this has been owned by somebody elderly. It is a 2-litre turbo diesel rear-wheel drive, so it should be quite fun. It's a 6-speed manual. It's an E87 model. What else? It's only had 2 owners. This is always my argument with ownership. You know, when you see a car advert and it's like, it's had 8 owners and people are like, oh, that puts me off. That's a big red flag. Is it though? Or do you want a 2-owner car that looks like that? What would you rather have? An 8-owner car that someone's looked after? Or that crock? I'd rather have the 8-owner car, personally. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. The last owner... that's interesting. The last owner's had that car since 2008. September of. Not a very long time. I think September 08 was the last time it saw a bucket of water, actually. Let's go down to the most recent MOT then. So in July 24, it passed, but there were a few advisory items. Rear subframe corroded, but not seriously weakened. Offside brake pipe corroded. Offside brake pipe corroded. Near side brake pipe corroded. And near side rear brake pipe. Oh, okay. Well, the brake pipes are consistent. That's good. We like consistency, don't we? That's that then. I suppose we better go and have a look around it, haven't we? I don't really want to get out this S4 though, because it's nice and warm. It's freezing today. We're due snow later, and I don't really want to go and look around this old 1 Series, to be honest. Right then, let's go and have a look at this 1 Series. So from this side, it's relatively tidy. I mean, let's not forget, it's a, what did I say it was? A 17-year-old car now. It's mad, isn't it? I mean, it looks all right. It needs a very good clean. On this side, we've got a Bridgestone. That's a good brand. On about 4mm of tread. That's not too bad. Let me see if I can see the date stamp, though, because that does look like a bit of an old... Oh, that is a very old tyre. 2015, this tyre. Could possibly do with some new brake discs as well. I think this is one of those cars that when I run it to my mechanics, they're just going to utterly condemn it. She's going to call me and say it needs disc pads, this, that, oil leak, all that sort of stuff. I've just got a hunch. Doesn't look like a loved thing, does it really? We've got a dent here, a key scratch here. Lovely. Up front we've got a, what brand is this then? What are we on? A Hankook, a Ventus S1 Evo on about 5mm, that's all right. That's all right, that's good. This has just never been cleaned. Look at all the growth. Got some damage here, but again, I think I could touch that in carefully. Save painting it. Got front sensors. Needs a set of plates. We can do that. They are the original plates though, from BMW. Some more damage there, but I can touch that in. Have we got a matching? Yeah, we do. So matching on the front on about 5mm. I can buy a door mirror cover for about £20 off eBay. We've got Bosch wiper blades. And they're not split either, so that's good. We've got half a tax disc holder. Now bodywork on this side, apart from that area there, looks fairly tidy. This bit here, I think we might be able to buff this out and just try and improve it a little bit. I mean, it's an old car at the end of the day, isn't it? So it doesn't have to be mint. We've got matching Bridgestone here, which again is the same age. It's a run flat as well. What else? Around the back, it's quite tidy actually. Got a sticker there from David Holmes, local BMW dealer. Yeah, I think with a very good clean, this would look a whole lot tidier. It's just one of those cars, isn't it, that someone might get a few years out of this. I think there's still some life in it. There's no point scrapping it, is there? And it's only done 80,000 miles. It's not particularly high, is it? We've got 2 keys as well. So we've got both them there. That one doesn't work then, disappointingly. This one, all my hopes are in this one. Oh, there we go. Right. How bad's the dog hair? Terrible, actually. In case you're wondering, look at the state of this. It stinks as well. I was told that the previous owner had a dog. I wasn't told the previous owner was Cruella de Vil. I think we've had 101 dogs in the back of this. This is, you know what, this might be the doggiest car I've ever bought. I've got to take this to the car wash in a minute, haven't I? And then run away. Look at it, they're all matted. Ooh, look at that. There's a letter here from a vet. Quite good if the previous owner's got a dog that can read a letter. Want to go on Britain's Got Talent, don't they, really? Look at the state of this. Who trades in a car in this condition? This has just been used as a tip run dog to the vet car, hasn't it? Stinks. Insect remover, I think that's the least of your worries. Sunshine. A warning triangle. I might need that. And a first aid kit. That's handy. I hope that's screen washer, not coolant, otherwise we've got an issue. There's another gallon of that in the rear footwell. This is just disgusting, isn't it? I haven't bought a car this dirty in some time. Disgusting. We've got we've got a magic tree there, air freshener. I think we're asking a bit too much of that, really. This is just vile. Look at it all. In big clumps. I think, you know, before I drive this anywhere, I'm going to take this down to the car wash. Let them try and fix it for me. Oh, look at that. This is disgusting. Oh, it gets worse. Well, there's no book pack either. That's not great. I was hoping to find some sort of some service history. Got an armrest here. Oh yeah, more filth. We've got, worryingly, the cover for the OBD, which I hate to see that off because it means that someone's been, there it is, look, down there. It means someone's been tampering with it, and I don't like that. It tells me there's a fault and someone's plugged it in themselves and then haven't put the cover back because someone's been buggering about with it. Patagonia Green Metallic. That's the colour code. Sounds better than it looks. I'm gonna have to throw these jeans away after this, aren't I? Right. Oh, it stinks. I just daren't touch anything. Well, it's a 6-speed manual. We knew that already. What else can I tell you? It is just vile everywhere I look. Radio 2. Right, my engine light comes on, so that's good. No one's tampered with that. We're due a service. We've got the red service light due. 600 miles overdue a service. Crank that heater up. Well, it's quite sweet actually. It wasn't lumpy when I started it. I know these 2-litre diesel engines are prone for timing chains, but there was no rattle then. Seemed all right. It's just filthy. Absolutely filthy. Look at this. I just daren't get too close with anything. This, yeah. Well, we're only in January, and I think this is might be the dirtiest car of 2025. What should we do first? What should we do? Let me think. It's thrown me off guard, this. We've got folding mirrors. Do they work? They do. Right. We've got 4 electric windows. They work. So that's good news. We've got a half tank of diesel as well. So it's not all bad, is it? I think I've got hair in my mouth. I think I need to take this to the car wash first. I'll take it to the car wash, ask them to just set fire to it. I think that's the best course of action. I'll get them to clean it, and then we'll reconvene in a day or two once I've got rid of this German Shepherd on the back seat. I think that's the best thing to do, isn't it? Do you want to join me to the car wash, in fact? Because we could see how it drives, couldn't we? You can keep me company, actually. Right. Let's get going then, shall we? Well, I've got no warning lights on, so that's good. My clutch feels alright. There's no timing chain rattle. Steering feels alright. Actual steering wheel isn't worn. It's only done 80,000 miles. My heater's working. We've got both keys. And I've run out of good things to say. She pulls. She goes well. Gearbox feels tight and precise. No crunches. Brakes are all right. Oh, we've got oh no, that's just an ice warning. We're fine. Oh, the poor people at the car wash. What have they done to deserve this? I mean, I know I've only driven 200 yards in it, but it does drive okay. Oh, they're going to hate me. I feel really guilty. I know I'm paying for this, but still. Should we just drive straight in? We'll just roll straight in, shall we? Where's the main man? Where is he? Little does he know his day's about to get a whole lot worse. Wow, it's cold. Hello, you right? Can I have a full valet, please?
Full valet.
Full valet, yeah. Thanks. I'll leave it. I'll leave it.
All right. Huh?
Right, I think that's my cue to do a runner. I'll see you in a couple of days then, with hopefully a nice clean 1 Series. And we're back in the cheap BMW 1 Series, which I think was once owned by Keith Lard. It was full of dog hairs. This has got to be one of the doggiest cars I've ever bought. Anyway, £100 later, and a bit of an ear bashing from the lads at the car wash, there isn't a dog hair in sight. It's come up remarkably well, actually. And also, thanks to one of those Airvidox odour eliminators, it doesn't smell of dogs either. After we last spoke, because it was so filthy, I took this straight to the car wash. I didn't want to go too far in it. There were dog hairs absolutely everywhere. I dropped it off there and then ran a mile. He called me up later and he said, Matt, this car's really bad. Instead of the £60 or £70 we normally charge, we're going to have to charge you £100. So I thought, you know what, fair enough. Everybody got to earn a living and it was particularly bad. But a few days later, it was all finally done and nice and clean. And it cleaned up really well. So from there, I got in it and took it down to my mechanics for a service and MOT. Now, although I hadn't driven it very far, I was quite surprised with how well it did drive. It was quite tight and precise. It wasn't loose or vague. Everything's quite solid with it, really. But still, I didn't really know what my mechanic might find. Anyway, one day later, my mechanic called me and said, right, Matt, that BMW 1 Series is ready. I said, oh, okay, that was quick. What did it need? So, didn't really need anything, really. The washer pump thing wasn't working, so that's been replaced. And that was about it. So I've had a bit of a result, really. This is a classic example of a car looking far worse than it actually was. Had the previous owner got his vacuum cleaner out and kept on top of it, then he'd have definitely got more money for it in part exchange. 100%, without a doubt. But some people just don't think that way, do they? From my mechanics then, I got it back to work, ordered some new reg plates and fitted those, and I ordered an aerosol tin, you know, one of those little rattle can things, in the exact colour match. I thought rather than waste money having this car professionally painted, I'll just do it myself. So I got the old spray tin out on the bumper corners. If you remember, it wasn't that bad. I haven't done the best job. I think it's fair to say Jimmy the Magician's job's safe, anyway. But it looks alright, and I think for a 17-year-old car, it's more than presentable. I also got a very fine brush and touched in the key mark on the driver's door. And again, I thought rather than painting a full side, which is exactly what you'd have to do to get it looking right, I thought I'll just touch in the scratch. It's an old car at the end of the day. As long as it looks presentable, that's good enough for me, really. Before you say anything, it isn't a case of cutting corners. I think you've just got to be realistic. It's an older car. Everything now works. It's been serviced. It's got an MOT with no advisory items. And it looks presentable, unless you get up close under a magnifying glass. What else did I do? Oh, I ordered a wing mirror cap, and I sprayed that with the same aerosol paint, and clipped that back in position, and that was about it. So I'm now left with a car that's quite presentable, and doesn't owe me a fortune. I got it back to work and took some photographs of it, and I've advertised it for $2,995, which, you know, I paid £1,000 for this car, so it should leave me leaves me a gross profit margin of £2,000, but I'm not sure entirely what I've spent on it. So what we're going to do now is find somewhere scenic. The snow's all melted, so it's quite nice up here today. We'll park up somewhere scenic, and I'll talk you through all my costs. But I don't think they're substantial. I'm expecting my costs on this to be about £700 maybe. So there should still be around £1,300 profit. That's what I'm hoping. Bit of wheel spin there, little rear wheel drive. It does drive very well, this, you know. Not a huge fan of the 1 Series, or this 2-litre diesel engine, but it's alright. Let's park up in my lay-by then, without taking my sump off. Let me get the calculator out then. So, we paid £1,000 for the car. My bill at my mechanics was £346.96. Now that included a MOT, oil filter, washer pump, remove the locking wheel nuts. I don't know why did they remove the locking wheel nuts? Strange one. Replace them with standard wheel nuts, some labour and an MOT. They've charged me twice for the MOT there. I need to query that. I've paid twice. Let me send that to my mechanic. You know, I'm always that busy. I don't even query these things sometimes. To be fair, they're that busy as well. I'm sure that's just a simple mistake, but we'll add that cost on anyway. The wing mirror cap was £20. The aerosol paint was £18, which is quite dear really, but cheaper than painting it. The number plates cost me £15. The full valet cost me £100, which was £100 well spent. And I think that was about it. So my grand total on this cheap 1 Series, that nearly gave me rabies, is, oh, that's all right, £1,500, £1,499.96. It's pretty good, isn't it? Now, like I say, I've advertised this at $2,995, and I've already had 3 inquiries on it. So I'm pretty sure this will sell quite quickly. That is, as long as I don't get it stuck on this lay-by in the middle of nowhere. So at $2,995, yeah, it should leave me a profit of around 1,500 quid, which is a kind of double your money deal, isn't it? Which I'd be over the moon with. I'm always quite pleased to turn around a car like this. There are many people out there who would have just dismissed this car. They'd have opened the door, as I did, take one look and thought, you know what, I'm going nowhere near that thing. But with a little bit of elbow grease, all right, albeit not my elbows, but yeah, with a little bit of elbow grease, we've now got a nice presentable car.
So that was the BMW 1 Series, which I sold for a healthy profit for a change. And it just kind of proves my point. There are still bargains to be had out there. And because they sold so many of the 1 Series, there are plenty out there on the used market. But if you want something a little bit bigger, then you need to consider the 3 Series. Now this next one I bought for just £3,000, which was a bit of a bargain. Now this particular one was the 6th generation 3 Series, which ran from 2011 to 2019, and it was known as the F30. And I think despite being 13 years old, they still look really modern. Sometimes BMW really nail the styling. This, I think, is a classic example of a timeless design. Right, let's have a look at it.
Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, today we're going to pick up a 2012 BMW 320d automatic that I've just agreed to buy from a trader friend of mine. I got a call from him this morning offering me this car, and apparently it just arrived in part exchange at a local main dealer. As he was telling me about it, I was expecting the price to be around £5,000 trade with a retail price of around £7,000. That's just what I expected it to be. You see, after years of doing this job, I'm quite good at valuing stuff off the top of my head. Then I'm always quite pleased when I get back to the office and I check it on Glasses Guide or CAP, just to see whether I was right or not. And usually, I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but usually I am. It's like my own little sad version of Popmaster. I enjoy it. I've got to do something to keep me entertained, haven't I? Anyway, with this 320d, I was wrong. All I'm paying for this car is £3,300. 3,300 quid. Just seems like an awful lot of car for the money, doesn't it? I couldn't quite believe it. I mean, don't forget, this is a 2012, so it's the first of the newer shape. This is the F30 model. So, it just seems like great value. Anyway, let's go and have a look, shall we? See what I've bought. Well, we're here. That looks all right, you know. I still think that looks like a bargain. That looks like a £5,000 car all day long. Quite like the wheel design. Silver's a bit dull, isn't it? It's a bit boring, but I suppose it isn't offensive, is it? It's an everyman car in an everyman colour. That looks pretty good. I was told that it needs a little bit of paint or some careful touch-ins. The wheels are a little bit curved, but they're not too bad. Yeah, there's a little bit of paint required on the front bumper. I think I could carefully touch that in though, you know. That looks all right. It's from London originally, with its LM plate. It's got its original plates actually, Williams. I was told that it drives well too, but I shall be the judge of that. Thank you. It's quite a nice day out here today. The sun's out. It's about 12 degrees. First bit of good news, we've got both sets of keys. Uno y dos. Vamos a ver. It does look quite tidy, that, doesn't it? I do like the wheel design, although they are a little bit chewed. And my lace is undone. Terrific. What can I tell you then? Well, down the body it looks quite straight. I can't see any bog filler or anything like that. Panel gaps look good. Tyres then. We've got a Nexon on the back, which looks quite good. That's it looks quite good, but it's on about 3 mil, and this is a rear-wheel drive car. Okay. On the front then we've got a Mazzini. Mazzini, isn't he an Italian footballer? That is about 3 mil as well. Could get away with those tyres, I suppose, but they might only last 6 months. So the paint that requires touching in is down here. It's grazed, so it has had a previous repair here. Now I need to be careful with this, because if it's only worth £5 retail, I've paid 3.3. Oh, look at that. You see the overspray on that headlamp? Somebody has painted that themselves on the driveway. What an idiot. Why did people bother? Why not mask it up properly? Or just pop out these bits, as I would have done. Back when I was starting out, when I was, working on my own cars myself, I would always try and do things properly. Otherwise, you just look, well, you're left with a mess like this, overspray everywhere. I'm gonna have to get some thinners on that answer and try and tidy it up. What a clown. Anyway, have we got another Mazzini here? No, we don't. We've got a Sumitomo on about 4.5 mil, 5 mil. That's not too bad, but they don't match, which I don't like. Then on the back, we've got, is it an Nexon to match it? No, this is a Sunfull. A Sunfull, right. Sunfull. And that is it's on about 5 mil actually. It's quite a decent tyre, but we've got 4 odd tyres on a BMW like this. Why do people do this? 4 odd tyres. And we've got more overspray here. Can you see the overspray there? Silver overspray and some very flat paint here. What's happened here, I think, I don't know if you can see this, but there are a couple of tiny little chips. So I think rather than carefully touch them in like any sane person would do, somebody just got a aerosol tin and daubed the whole thing. What an imbecile. Right, we don't have matching plates either. The rear one says Fleet Line. MK7, that's Milton Keynes, I think, isn't it? So the front is its original Williams plate, and the back is not. Got loads of flies here as well. Rear parking sensors, right, I'm losing interest in this car now, a tad, with its 4 odd tyres and its do-it-yourself respray. Still, it is cheap, isn't it? I suppose if I smarten it up as best I can without going overboard, it might retain some profit, mightn't it? Let's have a look inside then, shall we? Right, this key is not working. Ah, that one does. So oh, that's worrying, isn't it? We've got a bottle there of, dare I touch it? It isn't Highland Spring, that. I'm praying that's a Barocca mixed with water, but I've got a sneaky feeling that's somebody's been caught short there. It's very luminous, that, isn't it? They might have been to Chernobyl or somewhere. Right, it's crying out for a set of mats. There's a bit of wear there on the centre armrest. It's alright, this car, isn't it? It's not the nicest thing I've ever bought, but it's alright. Back's quite clean though. I suppose it's just your average 12-year-old car, isn't it, this? Hasn't been lavish with money, I don't think. It won't have a spare because it's a BM. We do have a full toolkit there and locking wheel nut. Oh, and we've found, look at this, found a penny. I think someone spent a penny up front, which is the worrying thing. Ah dear. Let's have a look under bonnet. 2 yanks. Oh. Twin power turbo, which people keep telling me in the comments, isn't it? It's not a twin turbo, Matt. It's a twin scroll turbo. Stop getting BMWs wrong. It's a single turbo, but it's a twin scroll. So there you go. Trolls. Nothing to see here really, as everything's covered in plastic. I don't know whether this era of BM suffered with timing chain issues. I know the earlier ones did. I would hope by the time they got to this F30 model they'd fixed all that, but who knows, probably not. What else can I tell you? Oh, history. Service history. Let's have a look for that. Down here then we've got a little soap dish tray. That's handy for your soap. Under it is a cup holder or two. In here we've got, that's a poor design, an ashtray, which isn't an ashtray, because that was an optional extra. In here we've got an auxiliary and USB. We do have some history here then, I think, do we? Yeah, it'd been described to me as having, and I quote, some service history. It's been to BMW there once, 2016. I imagine for its first 3 years, when it was a repmobile, it will have had decent history. Then it's fallen into other hands and they've probably just neglected it, as is often the case. Sorry if this isn't riveting for you. Oh, we've got more history. Happy days. Oh, okay, right, so it had a service at 110, a minor service, and an offside rear shock and pads and sensors. 600 quid. That was in 2020. Then it had another service, a full service, at 126,000 miles. And I think it's done 127. So that was done in September last year. So I don't need to do a full service, do I? Because it's had one. Now, if this were my own car, you know, not one that I'd bought for stock, but my own car that I was going to keep, I'd give it a full service, gearbox service, put 4 brand new Pirelli Scorpions on it, because I'm an idiot, and probably go to BMW and spend £100 on some genuine mats. But it's one that I'm going to sell for profit, hopefully. So I need to box clever with this one, really. It's had a full service 1,000 miles ago, so I don't need to do that. So I'll get my mechanic just to, well, I could do it, just check the levels and check it over and make sure it's all right. Run it through a fresh MOT, make sure there are no advisory items. The tyres, they're all right, but they're all odd, which I don't like. But do I want to spend 600 quid on a full set of decent tyres? I don't really. Let's fire her up. We'll close my door there with the... I don't even want to think about that. Right, how do we start this? Push. Right, we're on fuel reserve. It sounded all right. There was no sort of chain chatter on startup. We're in Eco Pro mode. We've got 38 miles range. It's done 128,286. It's 13 degrees. We've got an amber warning there for something. 3 red, like bowling pins, don't they? But I think that's supposed to represent humans. It's on capital FM. Right, very good. I would say my air conditioning works. That's all right, isn't it? Very good. What else can I tell you about it? That's pretty much it, isn't it? As cars go then, this is a bit of a mixed bag, isn't it? Can't really think of another way of describing it. In here we've got... That's worrying, isn't it? We've got the mechanic's business card there, or 2 of. I suppose it's a good place to keep it, isn't it? Right, should we get this show on the road? Should we go and drive it and see how it performs? Make sure it doesn't bellow out a load of black smoke and make sure it drives in a straight line and brakes and all that sort of stuff. Make sure it's got a gearbox that changes gear. Let's go. Right, and we're away then. Select drive. There was no thud. Seems all right, this. It's very early days in this test drive though, isn't it? There's a little bit of what I would describe as a belt noise. So I'll have to get that looked at. It feels quite solid over the bumps. I mean, to say it's done 128,000 miles and it's 12 years old, it is in reasonable nick. Pulls all right. It'd be nicer if it was a 330D, wouldn't it? But then I suppose it wouldn't have been 3,300 quid. My steering's off. It isn't pulling, but yeah, steering's off. So that wants, well, it wants the tracking and wheel alignment sorting, or something might be bent, track rod end or something. I don't know. You know, just say these things and throw these words at you, hoping that you think that I know what I'm talking about. I think it works. Yeah, steering's definitely off. Even I can tell that. Don't like my headrest. Oh, S-Class, that's nice. What else can I tell you? Well, we've got no warning lights on, that's good. So far the gearbox is working all right. It's a dull car, this. It's quite a boring thing, but it's all right. It's all right. Do my windows work? Oh, nearly lost my camera there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in terms of interior spec, there isn't any. It's equipped with lots of blank buttons. We've got a blank button there, where my powerful mirror would normally go. We've got some blank buttons here, where my heated seat buttons would normally go. We've got cloth interior, not leather. We've got the small screen, not the big. We've got no sat-nav. We do have cruise, though. So it's not like an old ES back in the olden days where you just get no multifunction steering wheel. It's all right, this, isn't it? It's all right. Bit abrupt. Handle's all right, I suppose. I mean, I've not tested it to its limits, have I? I've done 28 miles an hour through the village of Romley, but, I mean, it doesn't crash or knock or bang or rattle. What a boring car. It's taking all my energy here just to stay awake. What should we do with this then? I need to run it to my mechanics, don't I? Sort out this crooked steering, get her to check it over for me, fresh MOT, order some mats for it, some tailored mats from eBay, that cost me 20 quid I suppose, some plates, another 15 quid. What shall I set my budget at? Let me set my budget of 500 quid, £500. So this will owe me 3,800 done, and I think it's 4,995 retail. So it should leave me a profit of 1,200 quid, which isn't bad business, is it really? It's even got manual seats. I hate manual seats. Especially in a BM, because then when you try and adjust it, this happens, watch. Right, anyway, should we do a performance test before we go? Are you ready for this? We're not really up to temp, but who cares? Oh, yes. Well, there's no black smoke. That pulls pretty well, actually. What will this be? The olden ones, or the olden ones, the old models were 190 horsepower, I think. Imagine this will be the same. They might have tweaked it slightly. Yeah, it drives all right, this. It drives all right. And I suppose for its money, what do you want? It's all right, isn't it? If you needed a cheap commuter vehicle, this would do, wouldn't it? Shame it's not an estate, though, because that would have been much more practical. Somebody who had dogs or whatever. Yeah, it's all right. Oh. Fuel, don't worry. It's not my engine light, it's just my low fuel. In terms of fuel then, I don't know what this is doing, but its average is 35 miles per gallon. I imagine on a motorway run, if you go in steady, this will do 55, 60, which is why people buy these, I guess. Right, leave this with me. Give me a week, and I'll have this tarted up. See you in a bit. And we're back in the cheap BMW 320d, and it's finally all prepared and ready for sale. Now, this might come as a shock to many of you, but I did get a little bit carried away with it. I have overspent a tad. Not massively, but more than I'd hoped. I think at the start of this video I'd give myself a budget of 500 quid. That turned out to be a little bit optimistic, I'll be honest. Remember how it had 4 odd tyres? I just couldn't live with myself. I couldn't sell a car like that with 4 odd tyres. So I put 4 brand new matching tyres on. Granted, they're not Pirellis or anything, I think they're Westlegs actually, don't judge, but they're all brand new and they're all matching at all corners. So, you know, I think I've done my job. I could have gone completely mad and put some proper branded tyres on, but I've shown a little bit of restraint. Now, while we're talking about the wheels and the tyres, have a look at the wheels. I've had them refurbished. They were looking a little bit dowdy, and now they look as good as new. Luke, once again, has done a really good job. I'm quite pleased that I had them done. I almost didn't bother doing the wheels on this, but I'd booked in a Kia Sportage with him. Now, Luke comes out in a van and does the mobile, and he said, to make it worth my while, have you got another set for me? So I was looking around the forecourt thinking, what really needs doing? Anyway, I saw this and I thought, I should get those done. So I did. Yes, it's another £180 down the drain, but I think it'll help sell it. And I haven't bothered doing the bodywork, so I thought at least if the wheels are nice and fresh, it just lifts it. Speaking of the car's image being lifted, I've also changed the reg plates, fitted those myself. And as always, those fresh plates instantly lifted it. It just looks a whole lot tidier. Now, I didn't bother doing a service because it only had one, a full service, about 2,000 miles ago, so I didn't bother. But I did put a fresh MOT on it. So it's now got 12 months MOT with not a single advisory item. But it did need, what did it need? Rear brake disc and pads, I think. They were a bit ropey, so I had those replaced. What else did I get done? I think that was about it, you know. Oh, and the valet. It needed a valet, it was quite grubby. So the lads at Tameside Detailing have cleaned it all up for me. And it now is all ready for its new owner. Speaking of new owners, I've got an appointment on this tomorrow, so I'm hoping it sells. I've got it advertised for 4,995, which I'm hoping, 1, will get the money back in the bank so I can spend it again, but 2, I'm hoping there's some profit in it. How much profit? Your guess is as good as mine. In fact, no, let's do it properly. Let me park up somewhere pretty and I'll talk you through all of my costs. Oh, I nearly forgot, I've had the tracking done as well. If you remember, it was pulling to the left, or the right, or whichever way. It wasn't bang on centre, so I've had that done. And now it's true and straight. I've got a speed warning there. I don't know how you set that. It must be something to do with the cruise, mustn't it? Anyway, I'll fiddle around with that when I'm not driving. It's quite a nice, decent car, this now, you know, and for $4,995, I do think it's an awful lot of car for the money. Very moody day up here today, very dramatic. Right then, here we'll do. May as well knock the old engine off, hadn't we, I suppose? Very loud, aggressive door locks. So, I paid £3,300 for the car. Let me work this out, actually. Calculator. 3,300. My bill at my mechanics was, so rear brake pads, £35. Rear brake discs, £78. Tracking, 4 tyres, £260 for 4. Cheap, aren't they? What else? MOT test fee and labour. So my total there was £557.12. In addition to that, we've got £15 for some new number plates. We've got £70 for a valet. We've got £180 for the wheel refurb, which takes my total to £4,122.12. So, if I get my £4,995 for it, I'll have made £878. Which isn't bad really, is it, from a, you know, from a £4,000 outlay. I'd be quite happy with that really. And there's some VAT to claim back and all that sort of stuff, so that will offset my VAT liability. So, boys and girls, I think that's about it.
Well, again, that one sold quite quickly and I made a £900 or so profit. So we're on a bit of a roll here, aren't we? Maybe I should just keep buying BMWs. Now, if the 3 Series isn't big enough for you, happily BMW make a 5 Series, which is much more spacious. And this next one I bought for just £1,800. I'm a big fan of the 5 Series, especially this era. They have a really nice interior, they look elegant and classy, and they're good to drive. This next one was a 520D, which uses a 4-cylinder turbocharged diesel engine, which is good for about 60 mpg. I bought this one from miles away, so it did involve a little bit of a road trip to go and collect it. But happily, that meant I could stop at my favourite services, Gloucester. Right, let's have a look at it.
Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, I'm currently outside Gloucester Services, and without wishing to sound like Alan Partridge, it is one of my favourite service stations in the UK. It's a really good shop, that. It's got one of those farm shops in there. Everything's fresh, loads of fresh bread and cakes and all that stuff. Anyway, that isn't the subject of today's video. I'm currently on the M5 heading to the southwest to go and pick up a very cheap BMW 5 Series estate that I bought. I've agreed to buy a late 2012 BMW 520 diesel Touring for just £1,800. Sounds really cheap, doesn't it? I haven't seen it yet in person, although I've seen photographs, and it does look very tidy. It's metallic grey with a black Dakota leather interior, and it's quite a good spec. It's only had one owner from new, it's got full service history, but the only downside is it's done quite a lot of miles. It's done 163,000 miles, so it is quite high. Although I suppose for a 12-year-old car, it isn't too bad, is it? I set off this morning at 6 AM, and according to my sat-nav, we should be there in another hour or so. So I thought we'd stop at my favourite services on the way down for a cup of tea and some pastries, and just break up the journey. I always like getting out and about and picking up the cars myself. I did it recently when I went down to London to pick up an old Camry. I was planning to get this car transported, but the transport company that I use, well, this 5 Series was too heavy for the truck, so the only option was to come down and pick it up myself. I think that's about it then. I'm going to finish my cup of tea. Like I say, we're about an hour away, so I'll give you a tour of the car when we get there. See you in a bit. Well, I picked up the BMW 5 Series, as you can see behind me, and I'm quite pleased with it. It's an awful lot of car for £1,800. I've stopped here at the first services just for a drink, and I thought I'd give you a quick tour of it. So it's a late 2012 BMW 520D, and it is exactly as described, really. It's in really good condition. It's an SE model, so it's got these smaller wheels, but they're not too bad. There are a few little marks on them, but you'd expect that on a car of this age and mileage. The tyres are all good, plenty of tread. We're about 4mm there. They're all matching brands as well. Matching Bridgestones. It's about 3.5mm on the back. It's quite straight down the panels there. There are no dents or anything. And it's also quite a good spec. So let me just open the boot. As you can see, we've got a power tailgate. Can I get it to work? These have got a split tailgate, so you can open the glass like that, or hang on, open the whole lot. Quite a nice day down here in the southwest. The sun's out. Yeah, it's very clean. Matching tyres on this side. It's exactly what you want to see, really. And same up front. So there's nothing to do to it cosmetically, apart from it needing a bit of a clean. In the back, we've got loads of service history. It's just got stacks of receipts and bills. It's had a new timing chain, new clutch, new dual mass flywheel. It's been serviced every single year. Sometimes, actually, it was serviced twice in 1 year because it was doing quite a lot of miles, this. But I don't think it's ever been sat in. The back's in really good condition. And we've got, look at these. Got rear window blinds. Up front, this I think is the best colour combination as well. We've got a nice metallic grey exterior and a nice Dakota leather interior in black. So in terms of spec then, we've got, let me show you, it's a 6-speed manual. Now I'd have preferred automatic, but the manual gearbox from BMW is quite strong. We've got heated seats, ice cold air conditioning, digital DAB radio. We've even got, sat nav. We've got a button down here for sat nav. But when I press it, nothing's actually happening. We've got Bluetooth as well. Maybe we don't have sat nav then. We've got a button for sat nav, so that's something. Got a little cup holder there. But yeah, it's in good condition, isn't it? Apart from needing a quick valet, we're pretty good. There are a couple of faults though that I've noticed. Well, I was told about them, to be fair. We've got one, hang on, where do I get my warnings up? Not sure actually. Anyway, there's one that tells me that I've got a side light bulb out and also an indicator fault. Now that, I'm told, is because it's had a new headlamp and it was an aftermarket part. Oh, there we go. Side daytime light fault and headlight vertical aim control failure. So I need to get that checked out. Under the bonnet, what have we got? There's not an awful lot to see. Same with all modern cars really, but everything's covered in plastic. But yeah, it has had a new timing chain. I've seen the bill for that. That was about £1,200. It doesn't even need a service because it was done in June this year. It even had an MOT about 2 weeks ago. When I checked this out using Car Vertical, it did check out all fine. Let me show you what I found then. By the way, it's really important that you do one of these checks before you hand over any cash for a used car or motorbike. Let me show you how it works then. All you need to do is go to carvertical.com, type in the reg or the VIN. So in this case it is Mike Foxtrot 62 Uniform Bravo Victor, and then check vehicle. What this does, it checks database in 35 different countries, so it checks hundreds of millions of cars. So it tells you if it's ever been stolen, written off, had a mileage rollback, or has outstanding finance on it. It isn't expensive this, and it's cheaper still if you use my promo code HIGHPEAK. That's HIGHPEAK all one word, and you'll save yourself 20% off each and every check that you do. Right, and the report's ready. So, view report. So it's never been clocked, there's no outstanding finance, and there's no recorded accident damage, and it's never been stolen. That's all good. At its last owned mileage, it had done 163,000 miles. That was at its last MOT. It is slightly above average mileage, but it's consistent. If we scroll down here, we've got the average market price, CO2 emissions. So it tells us a bit about the car as well. So it's a BMW 5 Series from 2012, manual in grey. It's first manufactured, first registered in September 12. Then we've got inspection. It's got a very clean MOT history, this as well, which is good. So for its last, I don't know, 5 or 6 MOTs, it's never failed, apart from that one time in 2017. But for its last 7 years, it's never had a single advisory item. The last one was done in August this year with no advisory items. So yeah, that's good news. Well, should we get back on the road then? I've got about 3 hours until I'm back up in Stockport, so I'll let you know how it's driving. Right then, let's fire this up and head back up north. So it's telling me a service is due in 6,000 miles. And yeah, I've got a side daytime light fault. Yeah, and a side daytime light fault. There we go. But yeah, no, I'm not too concerned about that really. How do we get out of this services then? It drives really well though. It's quite strong. It pulls well. Considering this is quite a big, heavy car, the 2-litre diesel does quite a good job. Whenever talking about a 5 Series, I always say that I'd rather have the 530, but it isn't really necessary. In most cases, the 520 does a perfectly good job. I've got 171 miles to go back to the garage, and I've got a range, it's telling me, of 197, but I've got just over a quarter of a tank, so I think as I get this on the motorway and I'm starting to do a steady speed, I think that'll increase. I should easily get there on this amount of fuel, so we should be fine. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with this car yet. I suppose, first thing, I'm going to run it to my mechanics and see if they can sort these faults out. And then take it from there, I suppose.
This is the kind of car that I always get asked for from friends of friends. You haven't got anything cheaper, have you, for around £2,000, that sort of thing. That's probably what I should do with this car. I wouldn't really feel comfortable retailing a car from the forecourt with 163,000 miles on the clock. Although having said that, if I'm up front with the description of it, I don't see why not. It's been well looked after at least, so I've got a better chance than most. Right, well, I'm just getting back on the M5, which will be my home for the next hour or so. So I'll catch up with you later on. Cheers, guys. Well, don't let the nice blue sky fool you. We're actually back up north. Who'd have thought it? It's 17.5 degrees up here in Stockport today. Anyway, I've managed to get here in one piece, and where's my start-stop? I detest start-stop. Fuel-wise, this is averaged, you ready for this? 60.3 miles per gallon. It's really impressive, isn't it? You can see why people buy diesels. 60.3 miles per gallon. They just need to be used. It's no good buying a diesel and just pottering around town in it. They just work best on long journeys. And to be honest, I'm quite anti-diesel. I've just had loads of problems with them. But you just can't argue with 60 miles per gallon, can you? Anyway, I'm not far from work now, so my intention with this is, it could do with a good clean really, but I think first things first, I'm going to run it straight down to my mechanics, ask them to plug it in and see if they can get to the bottom of this warning light issue. On my 3.5 hour journey, the car was faultless, barring some warning lights. This is the trouble with older German cars like this, they're just too complicated. Mechanically, it's spot on. The engine's perfect, it pulls nicely, the clutch is good, brakes are good, steering's good, all that's fine, but we've got a few electrical issues. We've got the warning light there regarding the chassis, which I think might be to do with the air suspension on the rear. Then we've got the other warning light regarding the side lights and indicators. I'm sure they can all be resolved, it's just at what cost? I think the best course of action really is to take it to my mechanics first, see if they can fix it. If they can't, well, then cross that bridge at the time, I suppose. But for £1,800, I really can't complain. It's a good, sturdy, solid car, albeit with a couple of warning lights. I had to charge my phone at one point, and look at this. Never been used. Give me a couple of days with this one then, guys. Hopefully I'll have an update for you. I'm hoping I can fix it. If I can't, then I think I might have to just clean it up and advertise it as it is. I don't like doing that though, really. I'd rather try and figure out what the problem is. Anyway, leave it with me. Wish me luck. And we're back in my cheap BMW 5 Series, and I finally got to the bottom of, well, some of the electrical issues. Not all, I'll explain later, but we have fixed some of them. I'm trying to cast my mind back now because it's been about 3 weeks since I bought this car, and I can't quite remember what happened. I think after we last spoke, I took this down to my mechanics for just a general check over and to see if they could fix those warning lights. If you remember, there was a warning light on for some sort of headlamp fault, indicator fault, and also there was a warning light for some sort of chassis fault, which I'd never seen before. That was me naively thinking that I knew every single BMW fault code, every bong of doom, but no, there were more. Old complicated German cars really are the gifts that keep on giving, aren't they? In the case of this 5 Series though, it was just more annoying than anything else because it's a really nice car. It's had money thrown at it over the years. And of course that shows in the way this drives and looks. It's a really nice clean car, this. I know this is a bit of a tired old cliche when talking about a high mileage car, but it drives like it's done half the miles. It's all very solid and tight. Anyway, after a few weeks with my mechanic, I kept going down there to check on its progress. They'd taken the front bumper off completely to get to the headlamps, and they decided to replace the near side front headlamp. That was, I think, the original part, and it had failed. It had let water in, so all the connectors at the back of the headlamp were just completely waterlogged. Water and electrics really don't mix, so it was just causing havoc. So my mechanic replaced the near side headlamp with a brand new unit. That was around £500 actually, quite an expensive part. But it had to be the right one. This has got those angel eyes, I think they're called, and it obviously had to match. So that was that done, that cured that fault. Then there was another issue with the driver's side headlamp. The headlamp on the driver's side had been replaced at some point, so that was all fine. But I think it was the, what do they call it? I think it's the amplifier or something at the back of the headlamp. That was faulty. Again, that was full of water. So that's been replaced. And then of course, it was just a case of building it all back up together. So at that point, I had not a single warning light on. While it was up on the ramp, a mechanic did a general check over on it, and they said it was absolutely mint. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, don't forget, this was only serviced in July, and it had an MOT in September with not a single advisor item. I mean, for 163,000 miles to not have a single advisor item, it's a pretty good sign. When it was all built back up, my mechanic called me to say, right, the 5 Series is all done, it's all ready to go. So I said, what about that chassis warning light though? And she said, well, I think it was related to the headlamp issue. There was obviously a lot of water in the electrics, and I think it was just bringing up that light. So I thought, I'm not convinced, to be honest. I'm not convinced about that. Yes, it might cause some odd faults, but I'm just not convinced that that was related. Anyway, I said, I'll pick it up and I shall try it.
And I did just that. I picked it up and then I took it over to Hyde to Tameside Detailing, where I left it for a valet. Now, if you remember, it was quite a clean car to begin with, but the engine bay needed detailing and, well, it just needed a quick clean, really. So the lads over there did that. I picked it up from there this morning, got it back to work, took some photographs of it, and then that was that. At this point, I'd done another 8 or 10 miles in it, and there was still no chassis warning light on. So I thought, maybe my mechanic was right. Maybe it was just relating to the water in the headlamps. These roads are very narrow. Come on then, let's be having it. Cheers. I thought perhaps I owe my mechanic an apology. They had a point. Perhaps there was just water where it shouldn't be, and it pinged on this chassis warning light. Anyway, speaking of pinging on the chassis warning light, on my way out today to filming this, guess what? Guess what reared its ugly head? The old chassis warning light again. So, I'm not quite sure what to do with it next. It obviously isn't a serious fault, but I'm not entirely sure what to do. I mean, it'll be a cheap car, this, anyway. I've advertised it for $3,495. So, it is an awful lot of car for the money, even if I were to sell it with that known fault. And that might be the easiest way, to be honest. But, not being one that likes to admit defeat, I think I'll run this back to my mechanics, ask them to plug it in again, and just see what they think. It might be a job for Darren Wood, the local BMW specialist, perhaps. But then saying that, I don't want to spend a fortune on it. I don't know what it could be. I've just never seen that warning light before. If you have, by the way, let me know in the comments below. That might actually help me out, pinpoint this issue. But it drives really well. What I'll do now then is I'll pull over somewhere and I'll talk you through my costs. Like I said, the headlamp bill was quite large, to be fair. But still, at $3,495, if I can get £3.5 grand for it, there's still a little bit of profit. So I really can't complain, to be honest. Anyway, let's pull over here. There we go. Right. Now, if you remember, I paid £1,800 for this car. So we've got £1,800 out in a calculator. The bill at my mechanics, let me just find this. Right, so it's had a near side front headlamp, that was £441 plus VAT, a bulb holder, another bulb holder, a wiring kit and connectors for the offside headlamp, they were £38.72, and some labour. There's no mention there of that amp. I'm sure they did replace that, they told me they had. Anyway, my total bill there was £854.14. So we'll add that in to my total. Then on top of that, we've got £70 for a valet. And I think that's about it. I haven't spent anything else on this car because, like I say, it was in really good condition. All the tyres were good, the wheels were good, the bodywork was good. So that's it. So it currently owes me £2,724.14. And at least we can put the indicators on without a bong, and we can put the headlamps on. And there's no warning light at all. So we're all good. So I'm actually quite pleased with that outcome. I'm not overly concerned about this whole chassis light business because, like I say, if I can get £3.5 grand for it, less my costs of 2,724 or whatever they were, then there's still, you know, the best part of £800 profit. I think, though, I'm going to take this back to my mechanics, just out of curiosity, really, just see what comes up when they scan it. I buy a lot of cars like this, so I'm quite well versed with BMW fault codes, and I've just never seen that one.
Well, I sold that one for $3,495 as I intended, which left me with a profit of about $750, which isn't to be sniffed at. Now, if you want something a bit more luxurious, then you need to have a look at the 7 Series. I've always loved the 7 Series. It's a rival to the Mercedes S-Class and the Jaguar XJ. It's just a beautiful car all round. Ever since I saw that E38 7 Series in Tomorrow Never Dies, I've been kind of obsessed. I'll definitely have to get an old 740 on the channel at some point, but this next one you're about to see is a later one from 2008. The 7 Series is BMW's flagship car, so you can get them fitted with features like a refrigerator, massaging seats, and even a V12 petrol engine. This next one wasn't, though. It was a kind of ratty 3-litre diesel with patchy history. But still, it was a £3,500 car that was once £75,000. So it just needed to be bought.
Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, in today's episode, I think I'm in for a little bit of pain because, rightly or wrongly, probably wrongly, let's face it, I've bought a BMW 7 Series for just £3.5 grand. What could possibly go wrong? It's a 2006 730 diesel. Now the worrying thing is, when you buy something like this, something that's heavily depreciated, if it hasn't been looked after, you can be facing some pretty horrendous bills. Because just because the car's value's down here, the parts and the maintenance and the repair bills are still up here. The parts and the repair bills don't fall in line with the car's value, meaning more often than not, it doesn't make for good business. But on the bright side, it might make for good entertainment. Who knows? I can't remember the last time I had an E65 BMW. I used to be a fan of them. I love the little pop-out telephone from the dash.
it just depends how it's been looked after. If it's been neglected, it could be an absolute nail. Anyway, let's not be all defeatist. Let's go and have a look, shall we? Right, boys and girls, I've had a massive stroke of luck. You see, I thought it was an E65 7 Series because it had an 06 reg, but that 06 reg turned out to just be a private plate. It's actually a 58, so it's a late 2008, which means it's an F01 model, which is the newer, later generation. What a result. It's got to be worth £3.5 grand, doesn't it? We've got xenon lights, which were probably standard. Fog lights again, which were probably standard. Let me park this up first. Right, well, I'll start from this side. I think side on is its best angle. We've got the wheels want a good clean and a refurb. In fact, no, they need refurbing as well. The tyres are very close to the legal limit on the edge. You can see them cracking, and that is a infinity, to infinity and beyond. On the rear we've got a Jinyu, which looks slightly better. That's got about 6mm of tread on. Again, we need new wheel centres and wheel refurbishments. Bodywork looks okay, looks quite straight. Looks quite tidy from the front. Bonnet badge is okay. Wants a good clean and a good polish. We've got a matching infinity on this side, which again is very, very bald. I don't understand, if you run a 7 Series, when it advised tyres in November, why didn't they just put 2 on? It just reeks of champagne motoring and lemonade budget. Again, another bad wheel there. Wants cleaning and then refurbing. But bodywork wise, quite tidy. Oh, very tidy actually. A little mark there, but I think that'll come off. That's not too bad. And then on this side we've got another Jinyu. Okay, that's not too bad then, is it? At least they're matching on each axle. A few little marks there, but I think they'll buff out. They're not too deep. I always quite like the horizontal chrome strip there. Not a fan of chrome, but it kind of works because it ties in with those rear lights. The back bumper has got a few marks on it. Oh, they'll come off actually. That's the result. We've got matching dace plates, which means it's never been in a whack, or at least they've had the thought to replace both plates if it has. We've got 2 keys, one's in quite poor shape. It's covered in electrical tape. And we've got, that's unusual, the original, is it the valet key? Right. Oh, power tailgate. Well, that's an option, I think, because the last one I had didn't have that. I don't even know why I'm looking in here, to be honest. A few stray dog hairs. That's not too bad. Should we see if it's got a full toolkit? Oh, look at that. We've got a first aid kit and a warning triangle, locking wheel nut, and a towing eye cover. Towing eye, should I say. Ah, reverse camera as well. I've just seen the lens there. Very good. So we've got 2 optional extras there. Makes up for the poor tyres. Inside we've got the pale interior, and it's very, very grubby. Very grubby. Why would you keep your car like this? Just clean it, you tramps. We've got lane keep assist there, whatever it's called, lane monitoring. Electric seats. I don't know how much of this is standard on a 7 Series. Power mirrors, memory seats. This is all chewed up here. That's gross actually, it's all sticky. Let's have a look under the bonnet. A few little touch-ins there. Looks like they've used a Sharpie. It's quite a nice colour actually. You can see the metallic flakes in it.
It's actually quite a chippy bonnet, that. But then it has done 130, hasn't it? It's to be expected. Very dirty under here, very grubby. That's a good old clean. But the gas struts work. Difficult to see because it's a big lump of a motor, but you can't see any obvious leaks. That's a good old clean and detail, really. We've got dog hairs, muck, mud, spilled drinks. Just wants a very, very good clean. Oh, it's got a USB point there. Dog hairs everywhere. Doesn't smell doggy, which is unusual. Right, let's start it up then, shall we? The engine light came on there briefly, which means it hasn't been covered up. Service due since June 2020. Why have they not serviced it? Why buy a 7 Series if you can't afford to service it? That is the question today. We've got storage, glove box. Right. It has come from Sterling. Hang on, it's got Yorkshire plates. That doesn't make sense, does it? Well, at some point it's been sold to Sterling then, so. It's a 730 diesel SE. Ah, right. Come from Yorkshire originally, then it was sold by Sterling, Menzies Motors Limited, 5,500 miles. Is there any more history? Not that I can see. We've got an MOT test there. All MOTs. Nothing in the way of history. That's disappointing. And the air conditioning is not working, and it is a very warm 17 degrees today. We had briefly, I don't know whether you saw that, front cameras, but then they're not working. Side view failure, there you go. It was all going too well, wasn't it? Still, the backup camera works, so that's good. I think I just swallowed a dog hair. Right. This needs a very good clean, doesn't it? I wonder if I can replace that handle where it's all sticky. Probably. All the windows work. Mirrors fold in. That all works. Right, okay. So we've got the front camera failure. Quarter tanker diesel. One good thing actually is that the revs aren't fluctuating. On the last one I had, when you started it up, it would idle really roughly, and I had to take it to the local BMW specialist, and they did a swirl flap removal. So I was expecting to have the same issue with this. I suspect at 130,000 miles, someone's already done that. Right then, shall we take it for a drive? Actually, right, the air conditioning's not working. Knock that off. You can check on these, can't you? I think it might have its service history on the computer somehow, somewhere. Vehicle information. Vehicle status, okay. Engine oil level, no. Service required, okay. So it's due a brake fluid service. That's been due since June 20. 2 years, 2 whole years. And engine oil. It's been due an engine oil service since June 20.
Rear brakes pads okay, front brake pads okay, vehicle check okay. Why wouldn't you just change the oil on your 730 diesel? It's one thing buying a car like this because it's heavily depreciated, but it's another thing running it, and you should not buy one if you can't afford to run it. Bit of a clunk there when I put the steering wheel to one side, so I suspect some sort of suspension issue. But yeah, the fact that you can pick these up now for the same price as a Ford Focus doesn't mean you should necessarily. Not unless you can afford the bills that go with it. Straight away, I've just gone over the bump there on the car park, and this feels quite bouncy. Now, I know it has air suspension. I suspect something's gone awry. But the pull's okay. It doesn't feel juddery or anything. My word, it's warm. Brakes seem okay. They're not grinding. I'm already slightly concerned about this. I'm slightly concerned about the suspension because I just know the cost will run away with themselves. Yeah, it feels very bouncy. It's not right, that. Not right at all. Changing gear okay. Pulls well. They're good engines, these, to be fair. That 3 litre straight 6 diesel is a powerhouse. Right, I think what I need to do then is book this in with Darren Wood, the local BMW specialist, who I've used many, many times. They're always busy though, that's the trouble. Book it in with them, do an engine service, gearbox service, and get them to look at the suspension for me, see what's wrong with it. I think I'll also repair the key. I'll send one of those away for refurbishment. I'll get them to gas up the air conditioning, because I can't have that. And that then is pretty much it mechanically, I think. Then it wants a good detail, obviously, because it's disgusting. It's always a telltale sign, really. When you get into a car and it's as dirty as this, you just know they won't have changed the oil or the brake fluid. Anyway, I should thank them, really, otherwise I'd have nothing to moan about, would I? I think that's what I'll do then. Let me run this over to Bredbury, get it dropped off with Darren Wood, and I'll catch up with you in a day or two. Or a week or two, depending how busy Darren is. So yeah, catch up with you in a bit. Alright guys, we're back, and it's all done. Take a look at it, I think it looks really good. I've done about as much with it as I'm prepared to do on a 130,000 mile 14-year-old 7 Series. It's taken me a long time to get to this point. This has been a while in the making. I think I filmed the first part of this video in May, and what we are now, it's September. So yeah, quite a few months. I actually kind of wish I hadn't bought this car in the first place, because as I predicted at the start of this video, it has caused me a lot of heartache and pain. But on the bright side, my wallet's a lot lighter. If you're one of those people who struggles to close their wallet, then there's quite an easy solution. All you need to do is buy an aging luxury car, and I guarantee you won't ever have that problem ever again. I've just this minute picked this up from the detailers, and he's done a really good job. He's buffed the paintwork so the metallic grey paint now pops in the sunshine. The bonnet's still a little bit chippy, but it's done 130,000 miles, so I think that's to be expected. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the overall outcome, but it hasn't been what you'd call straightforward. My emotions with this car have been up and down like a newlywed's 90. One good thing though, I managed to track down some more service history for it. So it had another one I think at 112 and then another one at 122. So it hadn't been as neglected as I first thought. I've had the engine service done, the gearbox service done, a couple of tyres. As I predicted, it needed some suspension work, so that's been done. I've had the air conditioning regassed. Although as I'm sitting here now, it isn't as cool as it was when I picked it up, so I think we've got a minor leak. Don't you just love cars? Just sent to test your patience. What else have I done? I've had the wheels refurbished, I bought new centre caps. Oh yeah, and then just as I thought I was out of the woods, it developed a misfire. So I took it to Darren Wood, the local BMW specialist, and because they're always busy and this wasn't booked in, I kind of just dropped it on the toes and asked them to get on it when they could. It ended up sitting there for weeks and weeks and weeks, but they did eventually get to the bottom of it. And typical BMW fashion, it wasn't just one fault. It was a combination of 3 or 4 different things that were wrong all at the same time. In fact, let me park up and I'll go through my bills with you, because it does make for quite interesting reading this.
Right, so I had the gearbox serviced. Now that cost me £228. I had the MOT done with no advisory items. That was done last thing. That was done after all the other work was done. That was £40. They're the previous receipts that I found. Now, I took it to my local mechanics where it had an oil filter, air filter, fuel filter, oil, near side front suspension arm, offside front suspension arm, one xenon bulb. It needed the tracking doing. It had a near side front track rod end. It also needed a near side rear shock absorber, which cured the bounciness. Now I supplied that myself because a new one was going to be horrendous. So that's another £200 on top, plus the MOT test fee, plus labour. So my bill there with mechanics was £981.69. Let me add all this up. £981.69, plus the gearbox service, plus the shock absorber, £200, plus, well, I think the wheels, they cost me £170, plus the centres were £10, £125 at the detailers. Now, this last one is where it gets interesting. Now, this, in fact, let me tell you what they did first. Now, it developed a misfire. It wasn't bad or anything, but it was just a slight rough idle. Occasionally you'd put your foot down and it would kind of splutter a little bit. Now, they found a fault with the DPF pressure sensor. It was reading a negative value, which meant that the DPF would never regenerate because it was reading a false value. So they also found a fault with the glow plug control unit, and there was also a fault with the boost pressure sensor. They also found that there was a split in the air intake to the turbocharger, so it was drawing in more air. To correct this, they supplied and fitted a replacement glow plug unit, new manifold pressure sensor, a DPF back pressure sensor, and a new air intake pipe. Then they did a forced regeneration of the DPF, and they carried out an air conditioning system regas. So my total there was £599.76. It also had two tyres. They were £120 each. That gives me a grand total spend of £2,554.45. Add that to the £3,500 I paid for the car, gives me a grand total of £6,054. So that's £6,054. I've currently got it advertised for £6,495, which will give me a whopping profit of 450 quid for all this work and heartache and expense and risk and layout. Hardly seems worth it, does it? But I've kept another old car on the road, which I think is better for the environment than buying a brand new EV. There are still a couple of things that I haven't got around to doing. For example, the spare key is still held together with electrical tape, and the front cameras, or the side cameras, are they blind spot cameras? I'm not sure what they're called. I forgot, to be honest. I completely forgot to get those sorted. It isn't something that I'd use, and really, it owes me 6,050 quid already. It isn't something I'm prepared to sort out. I had that feature on my 640 convertible years ago, and I never once used it, so it isn't that important, I don't think.
Well, that was the BMW 7 Series, and it's definitely a car you need to consider if you want something big, luxurious and spacious. Now, the last one on our list is a BMW X6 I bought for just £4,000. Now, BMW were kind of the first to come up with this idea. They called it a sports activity vehicle rather than a sports utility vehicle. And what it was essentially was a slightly less practical but slightly sportier version of an X5. If we were being critical, the X6 is basically a less practical X5, but they do look cool, so I thought for £4,000, why not?
Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, today I bought something quite interesting and very cheap. What I've bought is a 2011 BMW X6 for just £4,000. £4,000 for an X6. The X6 is quite an unusual car, and I don't think I've ever featured one on the channel before. I could be wrong, but I don't think I have. That always makes a nice change because there are lots of repeats with this job. You know, I buy mostly, quite ordinary cars, so quite often there is a little bit of repetition. This car's just arrived in part exchange. I haven't actually seen it yet, but my colleague sent me some photographs, and it looks all right. It's white with black wheels, which wouldn't be my first choice, to be honest, but it does look quite cool. It sort of looks a bit, I don't know, a bit stormtroopery. I think it's fair to say the X6 wasn't all that popular. I mean, it was the same sort of price as the X5, but far less practical. In fact, BMW didn't even call it an SUV. They call this one an SAV, a sports activity vehicle. I don't know. Do you remember actually on the old Top Gear, Jeremy Clarkson did a piece with this where he was talking about saving money and, keeping an eye on the budget, but then took the X6 to sort of every corner of the globe. It's quite a good little piece, that. Anyway, I'm rambling. I've already checked this car out using Car Vertical and it all checked out fine, so we're all good. So, well, we're nearly there, so may as well just show you, hadn't I? See you there. Right then, let's have a look at this X6. Well, there she is. It looks pretty cool, actually. It does suit the that colour scheme, to be honest, doesn't it? White with the black bits. Does look quite smart. Now, this, I believe, has had a private reg on it because my colleague has already fitted High Peak Auto's number plates to it. But apart from being very, very dirty, it could definitely do with a good buff, actually. You probably can't see this on the camera, but it looks quite flat, almost like a chalkboard. But it does look pretty cool, really. Got quite a nice stance, the X6. Now, as always, then let's properly check this. So on this side, we've got an Accelera, which I think that's like Halford's own brand, isn't it? I think that's on about 3mm. Brake discs look a bit grim as well, don't they? Yeah. Wheels are okay. It's easy to touch in black wheels. Once they're clean, I can soon get some black touch-up paint. But yeah, it's just very, very flat on the body. Just looks really, really dull, really. I think, yeah, good old buff though, and it would look quite cool. I like the side steps. We've got a sunroof as well. Very good. Around this side we've got Hankook. That's on about a little bit better than the front, probably about 4mm. Yeah, these wheels could do with a refurb, really. Brake discs look a bit ropey on the back as well, to be fair. Moving around the back then, it's all quite tidy. It's quite tidy on the body. It's just a bit dull. Yeah, they've aged quite well, these, haven't they? It does look quite imposing. Got twin exhausts. Now this is the 3-litre diesel, which means I think it's a single turbo. They did a 3.5 and then a 40D, which was all the same engine, but they just had different turbos. And I think the 40, the 50D had 3 turbos. I think I'm right in saying that. The 3.5 I think was a twin turbo, but this is probably the most reliable for the simple fact there's just less to go wrong. We've got a matching Hankook, so that's good. Have we got a matching Accelera on the other side? Oh, we do actually. We do. Right, so we've got matching tyres on each axle, that's all right. They are, there's probably another sort of, oh, there's a bit of crack in there as well. They might need to be replaced, you know. This is the only trouble with these kinds of cars. Tyres are dear. You'd be looking at probably 180 per tyre or something, I imagine. So we're into a couple of tyres straight away. The rears are fine, the fronts I think I'll replace. Needs a very good buff, very good clean. I'm quite happy with that so far. The old Shih Tzu. Got loads of dead bugs. This has come from miles away, I think. Flies everywhere. We've got xenon lights. I think I could transform this quite easily. I think there's a bit of life left in this. It's done 140 odd thousand miles, but I suppose for a 13-year-old car, it's not too bad, is it? Right, let's have a look then. So in the back, I thought these were 4-seat, but I think well, this one's definitely 5. I don't know if that was an option or not. We've got rear media as well. I don't know if that's standard, but, and of course a sunroof. It's quite dark and claustrophobic in here, isn't it? Black leather, black headliner, and a sloping roof. It is a bit coffin-y, isn't it? Let's have a look in boot then. We've got a power tailgate, we certainly do. Now, these are always sort of slated for having a small boot because, obviously, unlike the X5 that goes out like that, the X6 slopes down, so you do lose a bit of space. But still quite a spacious cargo area, really. A little parcel shelf there. That's all good. That just folds away neatly. Under here, we've got some got the original headrests if somebody wants to take out the media business. So that's that. We've got a bent wiper blade there. No spare. Obviously these must be run flats. Right, close that then. Now service history is crucial on this really, isn't it? With 100, bit of water there. That's fairly standard on a X5, X6. I know my film car does exactly the same thing. Right, we've got loads of receipts here then. That's what I was saying, with 150,000 miles on the clock, or 140 odd. I need to make sure that it's got good history. There's a receipt there for brake pads and a wear wire. That's all right. Somewhere in Stranraer. Stranraer! What else have we got then? MOT. The last one was done, oh no, that was 2020. It was done in Duckingfield, that's not a million miles away. Several private plates. VOSA check, that's all good then. Turn the cover so no one can see any names and addresses. I don't want to get in trouble for that. Right, service book then, let's have a look at this. Come on, please have some history. Well, we do have some history here. So it's a Scottish car originally because it's on an S plate. Serviced at 1535, bit of a gap there, but at least it's something. BMW service, Douglas Park. Another one at 43, another one at 63, Halfords. Someone's been busy, he did 20,000 miles that year. Another one here then at 76, then 90, then 104, then 117. This is all right, really. 117, 101. I think that's someone's put the what an idiot. Someone's put the date in there where the mileage should be. So 132, and then here 139. That was done last November, so it is due a service. So I think I'll have a fresh service done. But obviously hasn't done many miles then in the last year. That's a good sign, isn't it? Have we got it? That's weird, you know. There's no glove compartment there. I thought there would be. You just get this little one in the top. Well, yeah, we've got electric seats. Again, the interior does need a good old clean, but it's all there. It's all present and correct. We've got rear privacy. No heated rear seats, but can't have everything, can you? Let's have a look under the bonnet then. Where's my bonnet pull? Driver's side, isn't it? Loads of cobwebs here as well. Look at that. I don't really know why I'm having a look under the bonnet, because you won't be able to see anything. Well, as predicted there, look. You can't really see an awful lot. We've got more cobwebs and more leaves. But it all looks quite original. There's no signs of any sort of accident damage. It's all fairly straight. These engines are pretty good. They're all straight six diesel. They're usually all right. As long as they idle okay and they're not lumpy. They're usually all right. I think what we'll do with this one is plug in a little Carly reader and see if there are any faults. Now, in terms of interior spec, what have we got then? We've got sat-nav, we've got a sunroof, got some cup holders down here, got a cigarette lighter. We've got a button there for the power tailgate. Okay, fairly standard stuff then this really, isn't it? Auto lights. We don't have folding mirrors. I don't know why BMW are so stingy with things like that. On a big car like this, you'd need folding mirrors really. We've got paddles on the steering wheel, it's quite nice. No heated steering wheel, but we do have an electrically operated steering column. That took way too much effort to say, didn't it? Under here then, what have we got? So we've got a remote control for the Chinese rear headrest, locking wheel nut, storage there for a Nokia 6210 by the looks of it. It's all pretty good though, this. I'll open the sunroof and get some light in here because it is a bit dark. So yeah, this is all right. Quite pleased. For £4,000, it's an awful lot of car, isn't it? It's an awful lot. Let's fire up then, shall we? Forgot to say we've got tenemos dos llaves. We haven't just got the Juan key, we've got two. Right, put the ignition on. Make sure my engine light comes on. Right, we've got an exclamation mark there for some reason. I don't know why. We've got memory seats because it's just set me up. That very annoying BMW bong. So it's done 142,748. I'm just making sure it idles fine. So far, so good. My engine light went off, so that's all fine. Put my heated seats on. Let's see. I don't know if this era of BMW, will this have any service history? Oh, vehicle status, that's what I was looking for. If they've seen any, just to see if there are any warning messages. We're all okay there. We're all good. Engine oil level. Check control, no faults, just the way we like it, perfect. Simply Red. A stylistic song, how about that? Money's too tight to mention, tell me about it. Okay, does this have Bluetooth audio? Oh, it does, look at that. I wasn't sure actually. Julie, Steve, there we go. Shout out to Julie and Steve. Add new device, let's pair mine, shall we? In fact, no, you don't want to hear what I've been listening to, trust me. Right, well, we're out in the X6 then, and so far, so good. Pulls well. I really love the sound of this diesel engine. It's a straight 6 3 litre turbo diesel, and it just sounds like, I don't know, it just sounds powerful. BMW's straight 6 engine, I think, is one of the best engines ever, to be honest. Whether it's petrol or diesel, they're both really good. Obviously the petrol's a bit thirsty, the diesel's quite economical, really. Economical, so that weirdly. This will do, I imagine, let me reset my trip, around town probably 25 miles per gallon. On a run it'll do close to 40, so even in a big heavy car it's pretty impressive. This drives very well. Typical BMW really, it's very solid and very tight. Gearbox is doing a decent job. I suspect will this be a 6-speed? I don't think it'll be an 8, will it? It's too old to be an 8. I think it'll be a 6. Yeah, handles nicely though. Doesn't pull to one side or anything. Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, in fact, I spoke too soon. It does pull to one side, it pulls to the left. That could be those crap tyres on the front though, couldn't it, in fairness? Yeah, we're going off piste here. It's pulling to the left. That's all right though, we can soon fix that. And we obviously need to address this little handbrake button's situation. Brakes feel okay, even though the brake discs look a bit ropey and rusty. Actually feel all right. There's no vibrations, so I don't think they're warped. Yeah, drives all right, this. Quite impressed. £4 grand. So cheap, isn't it? So cheap. Actually can't wait to get this cleaned up. What should we do first then? It's due a service, isn't it? It was last done at 138, which was only 4,000 miles ago, but it was a full year. So I think I'll have a service done, a general check over. I'll get a clean MOT done as well. 2 new tyres on the front. Then needs a proper valet. A valet and a buff. Maybe like a stage 1 buff. I'll have a word with the lads at Tameside Detailing, see if they're busy. See if they can slot this in for a stage 1. I think that'll transform it. Don't need to do the plates because one of my colleagues has done that already. Yeah, we're all pretty good really. Not an awful lot to do to this. I could get the wheels refurbished, but I don't think I will. I think I shan't bother. I think once it's all clean, I can just sit there with a little fix brush and touch them in myself. I'll be fine. Yeah, we're pulling violently to the left. Those Accelera tyres aren't the best brand, I don't think, really. I like this though. I do like this. It rides quite nicely. It isn't too firm. My X5 that we use for running around in while we're filming and stuff, the ride on that's a little bit stiff and it annoys me. But this is a bit more supple. This one's obviously a Simply Red fan though. Don't want to sound like Alan Partridge, but he's from Denton. Did you know that, Mick Hucknall? And no matter who you speak to in Denton, wherever you are, everybody grew up on the same street as him. It's a fun fact. It's a bit like when you meet somebody from East London, they always knew the craze. Every single person I've ever met from East London. Oh yeah, I used to go around there for my tea after school. Oh right, okay. How big was the dining room table? Because everyone I've ever met did the same thing. You can't all be telling the truth. It's a bit like that. Go on then, I'll let you cross, because you're wearing a poppy. Saying that I need one, don't I? Just never have any change. Need to stick a card machine on their little appeal, but anyway, I'm talking nonsense. This pulls really well, actually. Oh yeah. Slow down a bit before we T-bone in Ibiza. I was going to take this for a mini valet. Should we do that? Oh no, they're rammed. Mini valet for Matt or not? I think we'll leave it for a mini valet. Mini valet for me. My X5's here, so I've got to lift back. It's handy, isn't it? I think we'll just jump the queue here because I can. The new Toyota CHR is quite a good looking car, isn't it? Right, give me a couple of days then I'll have an update for you. New tyres, full valet, buff, service, MOT. I think that's about it, isn't it? I paid £4 grand for it. if I give myself a budget of 750, 4750, this should be a 6995 car. Should. Should doesn't mean yes, but it should. And also a handbrake button. See you soon. And we're back in my very cheap BMW X6, and it's now all prepared and ready for sale. And I haven't spent that much on it. Who'd have thought it? After we last spoke, I decided to take this to my local car wash for a mini valet. It was a bit of a mess, so I thought that'd be £15 well spent. A few hours later, I picked it up from there and it looked a whole lot better. So then I ran it down to my mechanics for its prep. I asked them to give it a service, even though it last had a service at 138 and it's now done 142. It was about 12 months ago. So I asked them to change the oil and filter and give it a general check over. And it all checked out all right. They confirmed what I thought though, in as far as it did need 2 new tyres on the front. Had I left them on, they would have had to advise them on the MOT. I don't like advisory items. So I had the tyres replaced and that's all it needed. In addition to that, they've replaced the handbrake switch. Do you remember how it came off in your hand before? Well, now it doesn't. I was quite surprised actually, because it wasn't all that expensive. You'd expect BMW to charge a king's ransom, wouldn't you, for a new handbrake switch, but they didn't, weirdly. From there then, I picked it up and I took it over to Tameside Detailing for a full clean. It was quite grubby, and even with a £15 mini valet, it needed a proper going over. For £70, they've completely transformed it. I mean, do you remember how scruffy this car was when we first saw it? And now look at it, it really does look the part. I think if you were to stick a cheap private plate on this, it would just take the years right off it. The last thing I had to do when I got it back from the valeters this morning was just get it back to work and do some careful touch-ins. So I did some touch-ins on the bonnet. I found some white that was a similar shade, so I touched in some stone chips. Then I got some black touch-up paint and touched in the marks on the wheels. That's the only good thing about black wheels, really. It's just really easy to hide any curb damage. And now I think it looks really good. And I've saved myself about £300 by not having them refurbished. Right, so what we're going to do now then is park up somewhere scenic, and I think this will do. Look at all the litter here. Who comes to a spot like this and litters? Winds me up. Anyway, let me talk you through my costs then. Because they're not that huge actually. I think there's still some profit in this car. You know, the other good thing is the previous owner got back in touch and they gave me some extra service history. So in the last year, this car's had a brand new turbo and it's had an automatic gearbox service. So it's pretty good news really, that I think. Now, let me get my calculator out then. So if you remember, I paid £4,000 for the car. Let me get this up. £4,000. We've got £70 for a valet on top. Right, let me get my bill from my mechanics then. Are you ready for this? So PDI, pre-delivery inspection, including a minor oil change. That was that. MOT test fee, £40. 2 new tyres. They were £135 each. That's not too bad, is it? Granted, I didn't go with a premium brand, but I was trying to keep one eye on the budget. I didn't want to massively overspend. And then, of course, we got the new handbrake switch, which was £48.82. That's not bad, is it? That means my total cost at my mechanics, including VAT, was £522.86. So we'll add that to the £4,000 plus the 70. What else have I spent on this? Oh, a mini valet, that was £15. Didn't put any diesel in it. That's it, I think. So this BMW X6 currently owes me £4,607.86, which I think is a bit of a bargain. I had a quick look on Auto Trader and I think this is worth between 6 and 6.5 grand. So if I can sell this for something like 6,250, that kind of figure, I'll have made a profit of around £1,700, which is pretty good going, isn't it, really? That's pre-tax, pre-VAT and all that sort of stuff. But let's think positively. Let's not dwell on the negatives. 1,700 quid. Pretty good going, isn't it, that? Of course, I've still got to sell it yet, so I best not count my chickens, really, before they've hatched. But I don't think it'll be a difficult one to sell this, really. It isn't in the highest road tax bracket. I know they're not everyone's cup of tea, but I think it's quite cool. And certainly for like 6.5 grand or something, it does look like a bit of a bargain.
Well, that was the BMW X6. I eventually ended up gifting that car to my best pal. I did a video with that on the channel, so check that out. It was quite a nice, heartwarming video. He absolutely loved it. He kept it for about 6 months. He's only recently just sold it, actually, because it was costing him too much in fuel. In fact, we did a video, which is coming soon on this channel, where we sharpen buyer's replacement, so check it out. Well, I think that's about it for today's video. Let me know in the comments below which one you'd buy. I think my choice would be... it's a tough one, actually. I was going to say the 3 Series, but I'd probably have the 7 Series, to be honest. I'd choose the 3 Series if I was on a really tight budget, but if I let my heart rule my head, then I'd pick the 7 Series. Well, thank you all for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. I'll leave the links below. And yeah, cheers guys. I'll see you in the next one.